Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Friday, March 22nd, 2019. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. The Honorable Spencer Brandt believes the theme for World Water Day, Leaving No One Behind, is important and relevant. The minister responsible for water services notes that the theme is in keeping with the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which seeks to ensure availability and access to clean water and sanitation for all by the year 2030.
Even though having access to water on Nevis is not a major problem when compared to the rest of the world, we must not take the access and availability of water for granted. As successive administrations over the years have invested heavily to ensure that all sectors, parishes, villages, communities, and households on the island of Nevis benefit from potable water for various purposes. For instance, the NAA has invested over $30 million to improve the water infrastructure with funding assistance from the Caribbean Development Bank. And we are taking measures to ensure that our economy and the people would have access to more water in the near future by exploring for additional sources of drinking water.
He also notes, however, that a number of factors, including climate change, bad environmental practices, increase in demand for water due to increase in standards of living and social status, population dynamics, economic development, and a lack of water harvesting and conservation practices threaten the sustainability of our water resource.
It is imperative that we work hand in hand to secure, protect, and sustain our water resources, and partner with all stakeholders, including every citizen, the private sector, regional and international organizations, to ensure that before 2030, we would have 100% access and availability of potable water for all residents and people on Nevis. To this end, after some research and a subsequent application to the Caribbean Development Fund, CDF, the Ministry of Water Services was successful in securing funding to install a water filtration system that we expect will add an additional 200 plus imperial gallons per minute to the system. We will replace the old reservoir in Hamilton with a larger, modern 400,000 imperial gallon storage tank, and later we will also change the Pond Hill tank with a 300,000 gallon reservoir. We believe these initiatives will greatly improve our water delivery capabilities.
Minister Brandt believes that with an integrated water resource management strategy, a proper legal, regulatory, and institutional framework, access to sufficient funding, an educated population, and the application of the relevant skills, Nevis can achieve the goal and live up to the theme of leaving no one behind.
We recognize and applaud the NAA for putting water high on its development agenda. The dedicated leadership and commitment of the management and staff of the Nevis Water Department, the collaboration and cooperation of allied government agencies and departments, the support of regional and international organizations, and the cooperation and understanding of the people of Nevis, especially as we ride out this current dry season, while taking steps to increase water supply so that we can be more resilient.
The United Nations recognizes the right to safe and clean drinking water and sanitation as a human right that is essential for the full employment of life and all human rights. Government officials are revisiting the list of households who are receiving the $500 under the National Unity Government's Poverty Alleviation Program. This is in keeping with standard procedures to ensure that the funds are being dispersed to families who fall below the $3,000 income threshold. Speaking at the March 20th Community Consultation Town Hall styled meeting at the St. Johnston Community Center in St. Kitts, Prime Minister the Honorable Dr. Timothy Timothy Harris, said work is being done to fine-tune the program. He said in some cases, up to 4 members from the same household applied under different names and different titles, and they ought not to be in the program, and so the government is tidying up the program. In a month or two, those who, for one reason or the other, were not able to make it in the first time will have an opportunity to move forward. Prime Minister Harris noted that the program is not an issue of charity, but one of social justice. Promoting the importance of human relationships, that was the theme for World Social Work Day, Tuesday, March 19th. At a recent roundtable discussion held in observance of the day, Minister of Social Development, the Honorable Eric Evelyn, spoke on the theme.
Promoting good human relationships should start in the workplace. It should start at social services. But you have to bear in mind that whatever you do in the workplace is not about you. It's about who you will affect. It's about your clients. It's about members of the general public. It's about vulnerable people in the society that you're trying to reach and whose lives you're trying to make better. And oftentimes, persons in the workplace do not get along very well. But we have to be able to place that aside and to build proper human relationships to ensure that you do what you're supposed to do and to ensure that your work is effective. But for the good of the department and for the good of your clients, it is important that you have good human relationships.
Minister Evelyn also encouraged the staff at the Department of Social Services to build proper human relationships with their clients.
These are the persons that you're serving. These are the persons that you have to empathize with. These are the persons you want to develop a good relationship with. These are the persons who you want to trust you. And so, whatever you do, when those clients come in, whether they come into the office or whether you go out to meet them, you have to be able to have that patience to deal with them and to be able to develop that good human relationships. So I'm asking you, whatever you do, try to build good relationships with your clients and, of course, with members of the general public. Let us be mindful always that we are working in a department, in a ministry, where we are trying to touch the lives of everyone. And we are trying to ensure that we leave no one behind, and those who are down, we try to bring them up.
Minister Evelyn also commended the Director of the Department of Social Services, Sandra Morton, and her team for the work they have been doing, including trying to get more men involved in social work. The Social Development Minister was speaking at a roundtable discussion hosted by the department on March 14th. The topic was increasing male participation in social work. Leo Stone Morrison, probation officer at the Department of Social Services, moderated the discussion.
Only 14% of child protection workers are men. 14. Yet, more than half of the children involved in child protection plans are boys. In St. Kitts, between child protection, probation, gender, the counseling unit, and community development, there are 40 females and 7 males. And of that 7, 1 is admin staff. In Nevis, social services, which covers family and probation, child protection, seniors, RISE, and household registry, there are 43 females and 5 males. Of that 5, 2 are drivers and 1 is a PEP worker. So we are very small.
The panel consisted of Alexis Atherton of the Nevis Tourism Authority, Reverend Ron Daniel, Pastor Wayne Maynard of the Gender Affairs Division, Pastor Alric Brown, Youth Development Officer Vijay Harinarain, and former Community Development Officer Reverend Othniel Daly, who discussed the reasons for the disparity and the importance of more men becoming involved in social work. Still to come, Senior Minister Emery urges nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis to get certified to access World of Opportunities. The details after this break.
The Ministry and Department of Agriculture presents Open Day 2019. It's Silver Jubilee. 25 years of feeding the nation. On March 28th and the 29th, 9 a.m. daily. Venue, the E.T. Willett Park. Under the theme, Think Climate Smart, Food and Nutrition Security and Sustainability.
In recognition of the outstanding performance of the Special Olympians from St. Kitts and Nevis in the World Summer Games in Abu Dhabi, the Special Olympics Committee and the Ministry of Youth and Sports in the Nevis Island Administration will host a welcome back and congratulatory celebration on Monday, March 25th. The general public is invited to be a part of the celebration, which will take the form of an island-wide motorcade, which will commence at 12 noon at the Cicely Brown Integrated School at Prospect Estate. The Special Olympians who represented St. Kitts and Nevis have secured 13 medals, 8 gold, 2 silver, and 3 bronze. The athletes are scheduled to return to the Federation on Saturday, March 23rd. I'm Freddie Solari reporting for the Nevis Newscast.
Nationals of St. Kitts and Nevis are being urged to get certified to increase their attractiveness to employers based in the Twin Island Federation or any country around the world, against the backdrop of the recent expansion of the categories of skilled workers who can move and work freely across participating member states of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME. Senior Minister and Minister of Labour, the Honourable Vance Emery, said nationals must be ready to seize emerging job opportunities. Senior Minister Emery indicated that the Ministry of Labour and the Ministry of Education have targeted technical and vocational education and training as an area where nationals can gain a skill and become certified with a National Vocational Qualification NVQ certificate. This will help to open the door for holders of an NVQ to receive a Caribbean Vocational Qualification Certificate CVQ. The categories of skilled workers eligible to live and work freely in CSME participating member states are agricultural workers, artisans, artists, barbers, beauty service practitioners, media practitioners, musicians, registered nurses, sports persons, and trained teachers. University graduates are also entitled to move and work freely under the CSME. Senior Minister Emery said St. Kitts and Nevis nationals need to ensure that they equip themselves by taking advantage of any training opportunity or upgrade in skills to get certification, which they can take to their employers here or to another CARICOM country for whatever reason. All media houses and members of the press corps are cordially invited to the next press conference, which will be hosted by Premier of Nevis, the Honourable Mark Brantley, on Tuesday, March 26th. The event will commence at 10 a.m. at the Cabinet Room on the second floor of the Social Security Building at Pinnis Estate. At the press conference, Premier Brantley will provide an update on matters of national interest, and members of the press will have the opportunity to ask questions. The press conference will be broadcast live on Nevis Television, NTV Channel 99, NevisTVOnline.com, NTV Go app, NTV Facebook page, and NTV YouTube channel. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Thank you for viewing.